So we're going to talk about the front two brackets and where we're going to hook it up at. I want you to look right here. And if you'll look, put the camera, you'll see these two bolts right here that hold the exhaust bracket right there. We're going to tie into that. And if you come over this side, if you look over here, now your bike comes with two little bushing things that are pushed into these holes. This is threaded. These are 9/16. So what you want to do is you got to get a tool and pop those out. They just pop in and pop right out. But we're going to bolt into that right there. So we're going to get the two brackets. That'll be the first thing. It'll take less than a minute to do. And like I said, one side has, you can't put these in backwards, but one side has spacers. That's non-exhaust side. See the spacers built into it? One side doesn't. So I put them sides they want. Should have lifted a little bit more higher, but it won't. And then, like I said, 9/16. Now, this side has the bolts. We're going to reuse those exhaust bolts. The other side comes with two 9/16 bolts. Now, I've already put the lock washer and the washer on it. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. We're going to get put these over here. What you can do is you just simply hand tighten it first. So you put this up against this, and you hand tighten it. Now these things are pretty much dead on. You see? And that's going to hold them right there for me. See, that's where the brackets end up going to be in when I tighten this down. It's going to take care of that. Then I'll get my, this is where I'll trade this for this 9/16. I'll throw an extension on there. Okay, so hook this up, going forward. And I go each side, back and forth in it so I don't over tighten it and make it to where it's out so you can't get one screwed in. And I tighten it up. Once the bottom's out, a little bit more. That's it. That's on there good enough. Super tight. It's lock washered. It's not going nowhere. So this side's done as far as that goes. So we go to the other side. This side's a little bit different. We're going to pull the bolts off. Now, if your bolts are smaller, or if they're not grade 8s, go to Royal King or any hardware store, take your bolt with you, find one and go a 1/4 inch longer. No more than a 1/4 inch because these are only so deep. So if you go too long, it won't bottom out and you'll end up not getting it tight. But almost every bike except for one that I've done so far, the bolts were fine. I had one that didn't have grade 8s on the exhaust. I put them back in and it snapped. So I took it out and put the 1/4 inch longer ones in. He didn't have any more issues out of it. So just keep that in mind. So we'll take this, hook it up here. Okay, these are the originals. These are grade 8s. And then, like I said, same thing as before. I'll put this in like this. And you're just going to nicely do it hand tight. So, should not have any issues with cross thread or anything because they've already been in there. Unless somebody's messed with them, they go in just beautifully. I get them as far as I can hand tight. That way they don't have, and I'll go ahead and tighten them up. One, two, and that's it. So now the front brackets are on. And you'll also notice that this thing is just, it doesn't go way low, so it stays right above, right where your frame is. The only thing it drops, you have a little bit of a 1/4 of an inch right there, but that's it. Lower than the frame itself, so you don't have to worry about bottoming them out. Okay, so we got those on. Now, we get through the fun part. This is the part of the bike that I hate. And that is because Harley doesn't make it easy for you to do anything if you're the one doing it. So you're going to get a 7/16 socket. Same one I just had, though. And you're going to need 2 extensions. Now I've already loosened them up. This is where I do use the ratchet. And what you got to do is you got to take the saddlebag off. Okay, there's 2 bolts, one here and one out here. What makes this hard is you got to put a wrench behind there to hold it, because these are just free bolts when you unbolt it. So it's a little bit of a pain to get up in there and get the bolt. That's what you use this for. So I'm going to do the first one, and then we'll pause it and I'll take both of them off. I've already got them loose, so I've already loosened them. So this thing should just pop right off. Oh, it's going to prove me a liar. I'm going to have to put my thing up in there. Oh, I love. It's always fun finding a way to get your hands on these things. So basically, you just got to get it to where the bolt is. Put this right in here. That's loose. Okay. And then the same thing for this side. Now you'll notice that on this side of it, it's on the outside. That one's on the inside of the saddlebag. This side's on the outside. So you'll end up having to go up under here. And this one's the one that's hard. You just pretty much catch it and loosen it up. Now, I'm going to say this. One thing you do not want to happen is you do not want those bolts to drop out the back end. If they do, it's a real pain to get them back. I mean, you can reach in there, but it's a real pain without taking the rear tire off. So do not shove them back through. They will fall out and be on the tire, and you'll have issues. So that's all you got to do there. I'm going to do the other side, and then we'll come back and talk about what we're going to install. Okay, so we got the other side off now. Now we're going to talk about what we're going to be adding. These are the rear brackets. It's according to your bike what they'll shape like, because the bike determines it. But basically, these things are going to go on and be set just like this. Flat sides outward with the hoe going in, and the one that goes to your saddlebag will be on the top. It'll be the big one. So let me show you what I mean. You can't really put these on backwards because it'll scratch and tear up your fender if you did. So you can see, got it here. It just simply sits right in there like that. If you come over here for a second, I'll show you. You'll notice it's cut out perfect just for your fender. So that's the whole point of it. So it's going to miss the fender, it'll go down, and we're going to hook up back there. So both of these get put on, and then you get the real fun job of putting your saddlebags back on. Do not tighten this down all the way, because we've got to move this to where we need it once we get the rear end on. But you are going to put your saddlebags on. You're going to get them snugged on there so it moves a little with a little bit of with the tension, so it'll hold where you need to hold it at, and then we're going to move the rear end up here and hook it up. So let me get these saddlebags on, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so we got the saddlebags on, we got the brackets. You'll notice they come down right here and there. Now don't get worried if it looks like the brackets are going into your tire. They're going to pull out like this. It's not going to hurt anything, but the reason why it does that is because of the way these soft tails are made up here. When I bolt it down tight, it's going to pull in. We're going to pull them out when we hook it up, both sides, and it'll be perfect. You'll see that I put this even with it lined up. So basically, it's this simple. If somebody's holding it straight, you just walk it in there. Notice that, that's it right there. So I just walk it to where it's really close, like that. Okay, so then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to push out just a teensy bit to get this, because we got powder coat added to the sides. Get that in there. Now, we have two of these. These are 5/8. Lock washers and washers are put on them. These are 5/8. These are going to bolt directly into those. So we'll go ahead and we hand tight the first one over here. And do not go more than a couple of threads because you may need to move it. And so you want to be able to. And we come on the other side. We do the same thing over here. Okay. Now, I'm going to let you know right now, this soft tail has a small leak in the tire. The owner knows about it. It keeps going flat. So I'm obviously going to have to air it up because this is really, really far off. It's because the tire's flat in the back. So I'm going to air it up. Once you get it aired up, I'll show you how to finish this thing off. Okay, so we went ahead and aired up the tire. Made the biggest difference, of course. We're going to put these little 13 millimeters that are 9 tensile strength in. We'll do washer, lock washer, and I'll go in just like this to the back. We do these hand tight. Also, you'll note I went ahead and threw my level on here. If you have somebody holding it up, it might be wise to try to make sure that he's kind of holding up level so you know everything's going to fit up right. If it's not holding up level, you're going to have one end down, one end up. It's just going to be a fight. So then you take these in, you basically just line them up with the hoe and hand tight it. Everything just wants to be hand tight right now. So you can see I'm threading this one in with my fingers. You can just go down as far as it'll allow you. Sometimes only go a few threads. Sometimes this one's going to go pretty much all the way down. Yeah, so you see that one's nice. And the other side already got in there. I'll hand thread that one. And this one is. Now the idea of hand threading these as much as possible is simply so you do not strip them out. These are welded in. If you strip it out, you're really in trouble. And so we don't want to do that. So it's better to do that than try to crank on it and you cross thread it because you didn't put it in right. So we got those hand tightened. We got these hand tightened. And then we go ahead and, now you can use a wrench of course, but I like doing things a quicker way, so I'm going to do like this. We use my 5/8 because the front two are 5/8 and then the back two are 13 millimeter, which I'll have to grab the smaller one for that and I'll do it with the wrench. But I'm going to start over there where my wife is apparently. She's got me planned out apparently. And it's pretty simple. Make sure you're on board. Now, the first two, I don't put it all the way tight. I get it to where I can just move that. Okay? It's almost tight, but not quite. The back ones are tightened up enough by hand. So I'm going to do the other side the same way. This just makes 100% fit. So basically put the same bolt in the same much thread. And you can see. Now that that's done, they're pretty much going to be where they are. I'm going to go ahead and grab my ratchet. Got a 13 millimeter regular socket, and I'm going to tighten up the back ones, then I'm going to tighten up the front ones. Doesn't really matter how you do it. Once you get it to this far, you're pretty much just going to be square. So I just do it this way. It's just how I like doing it. I like to make sure that I'm getting everything exactly. Do it the same way every time I build them. So I just crank it down. Don't get stupid with it. Crank it down. Get a little extra push. I had a guy that cranked down too much and snapped his bolt. And that's 10-9. So you really have to be cranking it down. If they're in there, they're not going to move. If you're worried about them moving on you, put some Loctite on it. It's that simple. Went the wrong way on this one. Somehow my thing switched on. If you think that it's a Harley, it's going to vibrate loose, which I've never had any of these vibrate, but there's ones that I've gotten and I didn't like it, and so I went ahead and Loctite it. Put some Loctite in there. You're going to kill it. And then tighten it up. So we tighten this side down.